Coming up on That's a Great Point. That could be considered very, very quirky as well. I love that word quirky and that some people might be turned off to that. And to be okay with that kind of rejection. It's like, no, I'm going to do me no matter what other people think. And the people that absolutely agree with it, the people that love that are going to be more closely attracted to me faster. And then the people that don't agree are going to go away faster. And the people that don't agree with what I love, what I'm passionate about, do I really want them to be attracted to me? Hey, neighbor. On today's episode, we're talking about personal magnetism. What does it take to be a more attractive human being? From attracting clientele to a better job or better employees, attracting significant others or friends. What does it take? We talk about confidence, we talk about competence, we talk about setting a flag in the ground and standing for something, even at the risk of rejection. If you find our information helpful, please like and subscribe so others can find us more easily. Thanks for playing along. Enjoy. Welcome to That's a Great Point, the attitude adjustment for your soul, where co-hosts Alina Doran, Michelle Aalbers, and Lee Smart discuss deep topics around a life well lived. Let's start the show. All right, off the cuff me.
Off the cuff me.
Do it.
Oh, cheers.
Do it, Dussimo. Do it slowly.
Salud. Salud. This,
Hello.
by the way, is water with a touch of apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
It says, intestines wake up. Body wake up.
Or melt intestines, one of the two.
Well, it's all about how much, right?
Yeah.
Like in much of life. What's in your cup?
I went with water as well. Look, this is the last of a series of cups that I was given. Used to brew beer 10 years ago. Well, that was actually more than 10 years ago now. But I brewed a bunch of beer at that time, 70, 80 recipes, something like that. So my aunt got me these cups and it says Smart Brew, but there's a donkey in between Smart and Brew. So it's Smart Ass Brewing.
It's cute.
Yeah. And this is the last of a set of 10 that's managed to hang on all these years.
Nice. Smashing all those glasses.
Yeah, well, I mean, fumble fingers and whatnot.
The whatnot in particular.
Yeah.
Especially the whatnot.
You didn't say that right. It's whatnot.
A whatnot.
I did notice your what.
I did.
Michelle, really enunciate that.
What's in your cup?
Tea. We were inspired after coming back from Thailand, and Dan went to the Asian market and got some lemongrass and some ginger and some basil and some macroot and what else is in here? That might be it. It's delicious.
And made it. So
And
homemade tea.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a taste of Thailand in a cup.
love it. I
Yep.
love it.
That's a lot of stuff in there.
Mostly
Getting back.
lemongrass, but just hints of all the rest of it. It's delightful.
Lemongrass.
It sounds delightful.
Lemongrass is one of those things that crazy people either have a lot of or none of, and there's no in between. I'm going on a diet. Let's lemongrass the hell out of my life.
That's a commitment there. That's a lot of commitment to lemongrass.
I feel like it's also a great segue into what makes you attractive. Apparently for you, it's not lemongrass.
Right? It's like onion breath.
To any given audience, like what pulls you in versus like the magnet reversed and pushes you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I submitted originally, I had posted what makes you more attractive to your spouse or whatever, and like But as I was thinking about it a little bit deeper after I sent the message, it's like, no, I want to know what's deeper than that. What makes us attractive as a human being across the board? If you're a boss, what makes it attractive to come work for you as a boss? If you're in business for yourself, what makes it attractive for people to come want to do business with you? And also, what makes you attractive in the household? That way, whenever it's time to go do the thing and you say, let's go, they're like, "Ooh, yeah, right." Because all those things are important. Or like what makes us attractive enough so that, you know, a big drive for many people is to become famous. And what's the driving factors behind becoming famous? Why do we want to be that attractive?
Well, that's a whole deep analysis dive into many factors, including were you invisible as a child?
Mhm.
Mm.
Some deep philosophical discussions.
Love, juicy,
Juicy.
love it. It's very juicy, nutrient dense topic. Makes mama happy.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, let's cheers to that. Take a sip and let's get to it.
Okay. So what's coming to mind when we start talking about, I don't know, where do y'all want to start? Like, what is it that makes you attractive? Or what is it that, why do we want to be attractive?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think about a gravitational pull.
Mhm.
A gravitational pull that I have felt and when others have felt toward me, and working with clients on their gravitational pull, clearing out the gunk and the junk in the way of what naturally pulls, magnetizes. Think of it, yeah, like a magnetism.
Mhm.
And I will start with something that crosses into various parts of life for me, and I have a bias for, and that's like competence is highly appealing and attractive. In a colleague, in a boss, in a mate, competence is attractive. And when I think of competence, I don't think of, I know how to do everything. Nobody knows how to do everything. But it's knowing that, okay, challenges will come and they're capable of handling it. They will figure it out.
Mhm.
The ability, the conviction, confidence, what needs to be in place to figure it out. I'm in good hands.
I'm thinking about a couple of things as you say that, and that how sometimes you can almost feel competence come off of people. Like you almost can know it without actually knowing it whenever you meet somebody who's truly competent versus somebody who's pretending.
100%. Absolutely. It's when we work on like energy transmission, we're not transmitting bullshit. We are transmitting our actual truth across the room
Mhm.
in a meeting, to an audience, in a one-on-one, whatever it is. It's transmitting what is in outward so that they know what's up, what's here.
Mm.
Well, that's what I was hearing when you were saying get all the junk out of the way. I was like, out of the way of what? Out of the way of you. Like, who are you really? Are you hiding yourself or are you showing up like, I don't know. There's something about somebody dropped in and relaxed in a room that maybe that's what breathes competency. You know, that there's not all this energy being put out or put forth to hide or cower or pretend that we're something we're not, because pretended competency feels awful.
You feel it. It feels
Yeah.
contrived.
There's a mistrust that comes with it almost if you really want to take it there. It's like,
Yes.
yeah.
Trust. That's such a huge one right there. Honesty and trust are, for me, at like the top of the list. In fact, that's the only reason why Tanya and I are ever got together and stayed together and managed to stay married for coming on 15 years. Because we started with honesty and trust. Something about this conversation reminded me of a story, though, that one of my great friends told me here a couple of years ago. And that we were talking about mechanic shops and what made his mechanic so attractive to him. Like, why did he choose his mechanic? Was because when he walked in the door, you could see behind him, there's absolute chaos. There's parts everywhere. They got all these mechanics that are going back and forth, left and right, and parts are flying. But the guy walks up to him. He's got his clipboard and, hello, what do you need? Apparently, he was like a Spanish guy in Oklahoma that had a really bad accent or something. Oh, um, so as he's talking, it's just like completely calm in a storm. Yeah, man, I got you. You're in good hands.
That's right.
No problems.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yes, that's who you want. That's who you want to have in your life, right? That's who you want to give your money to and trust your car with. That's who you want to be in a relationship with, and that's who you want to embark on all sorts of journeys, ventures, whatever it is. 100%. It's I've got you. I've got you is competence. It's trust, authenticity, conviction. I've got you, and things will go wrong, and we will figure that out. We will talk through it. We will work through it. We'll be real and honest. We'll keep earning trust.
As you were saying that, another layer came in for me. And I don't know that we need to open this door, but I'm curious what your thoughts are, because there's a difference between someone wanting to show up and knowing that they got you, and that coming from reciprocity and two people being competent. There's another feeling for somebody showing up and wanting to know they got you from a state of victimhood and waiting for it to be rescued. And they're two very different things, but they both want the same thing. And the difference, I think, is in like how both parties are showing up and how that would feel different. Like as a competent human, somebody who wants me to just fix everything for them, right, is not appealing to me because I want accountability and so I want reciprocity. I spent a lot of my life showing up in that way and playing that game of you rescue me, I'll rescue you. This is a fun game. Super not a fun game. But then to show up with
if we use the mechanic shop example, if it's the mechanic shop, like, yeah, I'm going to have your thing repaired. It's going to be right. You don't have to worry about that. And on the opposite side of it, it's, yeah, whenever you're done, I'm going to pay you.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to chase me around to try and get your freaking money. I'm not going to go and try and ask you for a loan. I used to get that when I was running my mechanic shop all the time. Hey, y'all have a payment program after all the work's done? It's like, you motherfucker. When you agreed to that price, that means you've got the money. But so that's a different topic altogether right there.
Well, I mean, that to me, that touches on trust, what you just shared.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'm thinking about what Michelle said, what you're talking about in that trust and in that I've got you. I mean, that's where I think about like two towers sending signals out. And they both may have like strong signal, but it looks from the side like they're shooting the signals over at each other. If you look from above, you might see that they're misaligned. And even though they're both working independently, they're not actually meeting and they're not receiving each other's signals because they're on different wavelengths, they're different angles. And so one of the other tenets that brought up for me in that magnetism is presence, really being present to what's happening, to the current present moment, to detect the disconnect, to detect misalignment of goals and values. Like, right? If one person is coming through in an I've got you, we will figure it out.
Yeah,
that
we.
vibe.
That's keyword we.
We
I've
will,
got you. We will figure this
we
out.
will figure it out. I will do my part. You
And
will
you
do
will
your
do
part,
yours.
and we thus will figure it out. When both parties are present to the moment and what's happening, they're more apt to notice the misalignment of, hold on a second, I'm coming through. One of us is coming through in, I've got us. We will figure it out. And the other one is, get me. Help me. I don't know what to do. Can you pick me up and carry me across the finish line? I don't want to. And that misalignment can be detected when there's presence, deep presence, when we're actually seeing the person in front of us and present to what's happening, what's said and what's not said, to the spaces that at first look empty but are actually filled with energy and intention, vulnerabilities. So I think presence is another one, big one, to the magnetism, that pull.
Yes, and I also find it attractive whenever somebody's so enveloped in their work. Or I think one of the things that attracted me to my wife was when we were in the break room. We worked together it's Circuit City of all places, way back yonder.
Yeah.
And we were in the break room. She whips out a book, and then she's completely and utterly just absorbed in her book. And there was something about that I found very attractive. It's not necessarily present with her book for sure, not present to what was going on around her. So it's like safe was possibly an unsafe environment. Might have been what was attractive about that, but also really, really involved and passionate about something too.
It sounds like she's comfortable with herself and who she is. That says confidence. Like, I'm here. No one else is reading a book. I'm going to take a book out and read. I'm going to do what feels right to me. I'm comfortable in my skin.
Yeah, that's it. Drawing that out. That I do me, and I'm not too worried about what everybody else is going on. That's freaking attractive.
Yeah. Now it's not to say the person just keeps doing what works for them in spite of others. It's not to say that, because that's over indexing, but just the right amount, which sounds like where Tanya is, well, we're sitting around and people are puttering around doing whatever. I'm going to take my book out, because that's me. Conviction and comfort in one's skin is what I hear.
Well, that could be considered very, very quirky as well. I love that word quirky, and that some people might be turned off to that, and to be okay with that kind of rejection. It's like, no, I'm going to do me no matter what other people think. And the people that absolutely agree with it, the people that love that, are going to be more closely attracted to me faster. And then the people that don't agree are going to go away faster. And the people that don't agree with what I love, what I'm passionate about, do I really want them to be attracted to me? Not necessarily.
I love that you pointed that out.
Yeah, so it's being a little bit polarizing is more attractive than trying to placate to everybody.
Well, as you're saying that, I'm thinking about just like social norms, so to speak, right? We're taught to say hello, say please, say thank you, say I'm sorry. I don't want it in like a disingenuous hello. I don't want a I'm sorry that isn't meant from the heart. I don't want a please and a thank you if you're not called to say please and thank you. I don't take offense to that. And so her being in a room reading a book and people coming in and out and her being in her book is amazing, but socially we were, oh, what a bitch. She didn't say hi. How dare she read in this public space? How did, and it's like the opportunity for judgment there is so high based on how we're taught to be in life. And yet she chose to show up in a way that she was like, yeah, I'm doing my thing. It's my break. I get to do me. And that's amazing and awesome. But it made me think about how much, society as a whole tells us we're supposed to show up, and then also how many of us tuck into those boxes, and then if we don't, how quick some are to judge, and others are magnetized to it because they're like, oh wow, look at that, something different, someone who's willing to be them. How cool is that? Quirky and amazing.
What that brings up for me, Michelle, is that we talked about the I've got you vibe. It's the I wish I had what you have vibe of I want to be that comfortable. I want to have that kind of conviction and whip out my book in front of everyone and let them see me.
There's something I love about people that go to comic cons and they dress up as all these different characters, and they're 100% okay with doing that and being a super fan, super nerd, and they live it. Like they call it waving their nerd flag. And I love that so much. I don't do it, but I almost wish I did. Because of how just like I stand for something. Something means something to me. I'm gonna go out there and despite public ridicule, I'm gonna stand for it. Be cool if they'd turn that kind of conviction on something that would make a difference in the world. Like, trying to spread love and peace and so on and so forth. But,
who's to
each
say it
their
doesn't
own.
though?
That's right.
Think about all the people that it brings joy to.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Joy is like that vibration where it's like, maybe it does do that. We just don't know it,
That's right.
Sure
Maybe they
enough.
leave that conference feeling united, feeling seen, satisfied in their lives, and then they go back to their world with others who weren't part of that. And maybe they bring more of themselves into the world because they were seen and heard. I think about, is it a rejection by society, or is it a filtering out of what's not for you? In that magnetism, that pull, is it a rejection? Might it be, right, a way of just sifting out the gunk? Maybe it is a cleansing in a way.
So, watched a documentary here not too long ago, on the Insane Clown Posse. One of those train wrecks that you can't look away from. And, they have a fan base that is so rabid and so loyal, and they meet up once a year for this big, huge event. There's thousands and thousands of Insane Clown Posse people come from all over the world to meet in this one location. I forget exactly where it was, because then they're among people they consider family, people that finally accept me for who I am and how I am. They're seen, they're heard, they're understood for being counterculture. And that's kind of amazing in that people that the Insane Clown Posse, some of the least talented artists on the planet Earth, can actually, just because they stood for something and they stood against, like, what did they stand against? I'm trying to remember what the documentary was saying. I didn't know anything about them before this. Basically, they just stood against being repressed. Like, no, you are okay as you are, and you are willing. If you are willing to be as you are, you're willing. You can come with us. And people are attracted to that, to be accepted for who they are, to find their crew, their posse, their community. Find people that are like me, that accept me for how I am. That's attractive.
You see me energy. 100%.
they're so closely knitted that ended up they were labeled a gang. The FBI labeled them as a gang. So anybody with clown posse paraphernalia, or not paraphernalia, memorabilia, so on and so forth, they're spotted with any of that on them, then they're open to be searched on the spot without any kind of prior cause. Because in the FBI database, they're a gang now. That's how
Whoa.
closely knit they are. But anyway,
Yeah. Well, it's funny you talk about that. A very interesting correlation from clown posse.
yeah, well, that's like, to me, that's
To-
not attractive whatsoever. But to
It's-
those people, it's very, very attractive.
It was their home, their people, right? They
Yeah.
felt like it was their people. They're my people. I get
Mhm.
them. They get me. We have each other's backs. And in an interesting way, I think about a company that I was very lucky to work for and be part of their culture and be part of this huge transformation that where years later, like the company was purchased by another public company, by another company that was public, thereby going public, and it was disbanded. And the founders of that company have now started multiple other companies, and people are, different paths in life and moved on in their journeys. And yet there is a Facebook group still to this day that's active years later, where people are catching up, bringing up memories. I have memorabilia that I still use, and I have good energy, good vibes. I just got together with a team that reported to me and my old boss for drinks like 2 weeks ago. And I still talk to them. If they needed anything, they have me. If I need anything, I can call on them. No questions. Years later, it's this connectivity that was created in building a culture of a company and hiring people at different levels in different functions, but holding together that fabric of what pulling in the right people. And a lot of times it happened to be people who are competent and nice. They were actually nice human beings, treated others with kindness, and were competent, and they owned it. And when it didn't work out, you eat it, you say it, you acknowledge it. And that is a culture that I embrace, I 100% believe in, and I championed with my teams and help clients champion who want to create that. Years later, there's so much loyalty. Years later, a company that does not, no longer pays anybody's bills. It's incredible. It's a wonderful example of that. Like, we belong to this group and we get it. We share these experiences. We share these values. We know.
Well, and I think to your point earlier about how like Tanya being able to sit in a room and be herself, people wish they could do that, right? Like there's like oh, I wish I could be like that, right? And I think just like Comic-Con and Clown Posse, those two groups might not call to you, but I'm guessing there's some FOMO about not, if you don't have a community, like that's like, oh, I wish I had that. I wish I had because I believe as human, we're like deep and complex and impossible to figure out. And we just don't want to do this life alone. We're not meant to. And I don't mean necessarily even a romantic partner. I just mean like find your people, whatever that looks like, and community over and over and over again. And almost every podcast we do, if not every one, we end up talking about community in some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
And I think, wow, like, sure, Clown Posse might not be my people, but damn if they don't have each other, and how cool is a community where, I mean, I think we're all actively building communities where people find their people, feel safe, can take off the layers of the bullshit and just be. And I think that is magnetizing. I think that people, I don't know a human out there that doesn't crave it. And if they don't, I mean, there's varying levels of introverts and wounds and traumas and things that make other people challenging for people. But I think ultimately there's a craving in our innate being, perhaps for everyone. I don't super love blanket statements like that, but where we need other people. We do. Some people need 2, some people need 202, and some people need 2 million. I don't know. We're all different in that, but find your community. And that's the thing that's appealing and attractive and like makes me like, oh, that's it. That's the thing I'm looking for that magnet that just is a beacon that just is like, there you are. There you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a beautiful thing, the connection of people. And even when you first started, Alina, I can't even remember what you said, but I was like, that's it. Like, I just like, to me, one of the most magnetizing things is someone who is for themselves first, from a truly like compassionate, like doing the work, divine place. And then for the collective, for community, for other people. It's like, we have to make our container mind, body, spirit okay and good, and then that can become a blessing for others. Those are words that are maybe triggering. Pick your words. I don't care what you use, but you being you and finding the people who are meant to find each other and dropping in a way of everyone's doing the work for themselves and then compassionately showing up for the community, for the collective. I mean, it's not even that like start with you, then go to your community, then go to the collective. All those ripples, what does that do for the world? Fucking amazing things. Just the joy of Comic-Con might be doing shit we don't even know about, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like such a cool
Absolutely.
thing
It
to think
creates
about.
worldwide reverberations. Worldwide. If we all came in not having worked, because the work is never done, the work on ourselves.
Sure, yeah.
It's always, always, and forever, in perpetuity. So if we are continuing to work on ourselves to be more connected to what are my values? What matters to me? Why am I here? Okay, what am I feeling in my body? Kind of doing that scan, being present and grounded so that we are not pissed off and reactive. Right? So that we're not playing like I call it, emotional ping pong with someone and just deflecting, rejecting, so that we can actually be here, be present to the other party, to what they're feeling, to what they're struggling with, so that there's even a chance of connecting, of the I see you vibe and the I feel seen vibe. And the towers are transmitting signal and they're aligned. And the signals are being sent and received. I see you. I feel seen. I see you. I feel seen.
Hmm.
Oh,
ICU, ICF, ICP. Woohoo!
I see you, P. Yeah.
Oh, feel like we got a great segue into today's roundtable.
Mm,
Y'all ready for this?
let's do it.
3 principles from each of us in sequential order. Are you ready to get knowledge did?
To get knowledge, did.
Knowledge, wisdomized. I don't know where that came from, but I like it.
You shall be knowledge did and wisdomized.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, number 1. Who cares to go first?
I'll go
first. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Deep radical presence. Deep radical presence is a key ingredient to magnetizing and connecting. And that means what we just talked about. That means I am here. I'm in a place. I've done kind of the scanning. I have the self-awareness to stand here, be grounded, see you, see the other person, and really see you. I'm not waiting for you to finish talking so that I can say what I came here to say. I'm actually hearing what you're saying and taking it in. And I also, because I'm grounded and I came present, I actually have the space to see what you're not saying and hear that too. I'm really receiving the signals, right? Like my equipment is tuned and clean. That's number 1. Who wants to go next?
We go the usual orderly, or do you want to hop in the middle?
Don't threaten me with a good time. No, I'm holding the door open for you. Go ahead.
All right. Show up as yourself. Show up as you are in this moment. And if you don't know who that is yet, then show up intentionally. Take a pause, ask yourself how you want to show up in any given moment, and then have the balls to do it. Have the courage to show up as you.
Is that all?
That's it. That's a big ask.
Short and sweet. I like it. All right, my number one is be authentically genuine. And I think about a boss that I had years ago that this guy was a salesman and he would promise anything to anybody. He was also a chameleon. He would change himself to fit whoever he was talking to, and he couldn't read me because I do my typical stoic self thing, and it bugged the crap out of him because he didn't know how to adjust himself to me. And that's how I knew that this guy was untrustworthy, because he was trying to figure out what he wanted to say to make those promises to me to get me on his side to where we can be super buddies. And so the opposite of that is to not try to please everybody, to not try to manipulate and make promises that you can't keep, to be authentically, genuinely yourself and stand in that, just even though you risk being rejected at times. And I am complete.
I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, it's hard to limit it to 3. All right. My next one is competence, because competence is hot. Competence it just gives I've got you. It lets the other person know, I've got you. Whatever problems we're going to encounter, and we will encounter problems, we'll figure it out. With me here, your life will be easier and better. Let's go. Let's do this.
Fantastic.
All right. Number 2. Be an observer of both yourself and the other people in the room, meaning at least start in neutral. We often go into things charged or pre-planned or preconceived of how it's going to fail or go bad or go right or do good, and just be an observer first, because there's a mindfulness and awareness that comes with that does bring the wisdom and the knowledge component. The wisdomization and the and the teachings.
I'm gonna learn you something.
Just look, see, observe, but you too, you get to be part of this game as well. And it's not a game, it's real life, and we're playing for keeps.
Very nice. Always and forever will always want to make a number 2 joke right now. And today I'm going to refrain, other than mentioning there should be a number 2 joke here.
I was just about to ask you if it's slow.
So I am about to lay this shit down.
Very nice pun. Very nicely done.
All right. Have an inspiring vision. Stand for something at the risk of looking stupid or dumb or crazy. Be prepared to be polarizing. Have an inspired vision that's so far out there that most people look at you and go, this sumbitch is nuts. And to have that, you will find those select few people that are ultimately magnetized, pulled towards you, because that's very, very, very attractive to be able to stand for something so strong that you don't mind looking like an idiot.
Yeah. Love it. My number 3, after Lee's number 2. Now that Lee has completed number 2, I'm going to go to number 3. It's a blend. It's difficult to avoid it. It's conviction and courage. It's knowing yourself and knowing what you're for, knowing your spiky viewpoints if you have them, and courage to speak it and courage to call out the other person. Courage to let your instinct be present in the room and let your instinct have the voice. Not just your brain, but your gut. Let different parts of you be in the room. The rest of you, not just logic, not just an agenda. Yeah.
Hear, hear.
Number 3. What's coming in for me is perspective and a willingness or an openness to evolve. Meaning, know your perspective. You can learn a lot from perspectives that are different from yours when you can go in, again, in that neutral place. Also recognizing that over time, your perspective likely will change, and so may theirs. So it's ever evolving, it's ever changing. Nothing stays the same. And sometimes that feels scary. And perspectives come from a lot of different places and a lot of different reasons. And many of them are wounds and things that are unhealed. And having compassion for that. Not saying change your perspective, or like healthy boundaries are important in this too. But perspective with a kind heart can really just change a room.
All right, I'll shut the round table down. Stick to your word at all costs, especially if that word is to yourself. Whenever you know deep down that whenever you say something, that it will be the truth, it allows you to move forward such self-esteem and self-respect that when you say things, it will come off with conviction and certainty. And that conviction and certainty shows that competence that you were talking about, Alina, and that allows you to be a truly powerful individual whenever we do the things that we tell ourselves that we need to do. So that's number 3. Stick to your word at all costs, especially if that word is to yourself.
I'm just feeling like I want to give you a big old word hug about, like, you basically said, be willing to be powerful. Because I think the word powerful so often has such a negative connotation, and it's meant to be under someone's thumb and changed and shifted against your will. And it's like, no, be powerful. Fuck yes. Oh, so
Take
good.
the space. I love it. Be in integrity with yourself.
Way to shut it down.
Love it.
Yes, I love it.
Showstopper. Woohoo! All right, then. Hey, we absolutely have to come up with some kind of closing phrase or segment or something. Like,
ooh, we could make it super cheesy.
Oh, obviously. I didn't
That's
know there'd be any other way.
We're going to share a sentence and be like, don't forget to like,
subscribe. Oh, share and subscribe.
Comment.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Oh, you want to do that?
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and follow all of our individual pages and because the algorithm doesn't like us.
I was actually thinking something more along the lines of, hey, we definitely appreciate the shit out of you for hanging out this long with us.
Like a number 2.
Yes.
That was on a second delay there. I got it.
We're bringing it back. I like it.
Let's think about that.
I don't think there's anything better than toilet humor. That's just.
I tell my kids, like, you will never outgrow poop humor ever. It doesn't stop being funny.
It doesn't.
Nope. No.
It does whenever you're worried about being rejected by others.
Oh,
And then
poop
you grow
humor is
then you grow up a
funny.
little bit further and you're like, oh, but it's so funny. Fuck them.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, it's not funny on a day where you actually can't trust a fart. Then it's just miserable.
you like the times of gambling and losing? No. To gamble and lose is the ultimate betrayal.
Oh,
To
very
have
nice.
gambled and lost in life.
What is that smell? Like,
I have stories about that.
oh God.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So on that note, is that what you meant? What do you mean, Lee?
Sharding, the pleasures of life.
Oh, you guys. I wish I could find it, but this is this total like in Zentangle, people create tangle patterns that you draw and then name them. And someone drew a pattern that had hearts in it and they named it Shart. And I was like, I don't think they know what this word means. It was very quickly changed. Someone had the kind heart to tell them what a Shart was. I was like, you know, that's somebody that does not have young people in their life that has told them
Yeah.
what a Shart is.
Yeah.
Like, or they're so young that they don't know what a Shart is. But I feel like you know that pretty quickly in life.
I think that's, yeah.
Well, they
Well, I mean,
certainly
gambling
just
and
found
losing.
out, didn't they?
Yes, they did. It was amazing. I taught a class and I was like dying laughing. I couldn't even like breathe. I was like, okay, I'm just going to be a 12-year-old girl right now, or a boy. I don't know, but I'm going to be a 12-year-old with boob humor. And this tangle was originally called Shart. And now it's called something else. I don't even know what it changed to, but it was hysterical.
See, when you said Shart, I was thinking of like love is shit. I thought it was a conscious statement, you know, like that the person actually knew what it means and they are saying, no, this is what love is. It's a giant Shart. Take that.
Risk. Some days a good day, other days not so much.
That's right. How risk averse are you?
Too Shart or not too Shart?
How much confidence? Let's test how much your faith, right? Your spirituality.
Oh my gosh.
The ultimate test. Like, let's give you smoked fish and a dairy item and see how you do with faith.
Or like, have you seen the brownies where they're like, you know, all of these brownies, but one are filled with, you know, have pot in them, but one is a laxative. Choose wisely. You'll know in 30 minutes.
That's a great party idea. That's a great
Oh,
idea.
and ayahuasca, that's part of the
Shits and
experience.
giggles.
Oh,
Shits
really?
and giggles.
Oh, yeah. You didn't know that?
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, a big part of the ayahuasca experience is the purge. So you will certainly purge from both ends.
In public?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, whenever I went, they had all these people in these white cotton suits that were made in South America. Super special, just ritual wear.
Oh.
And I can't tell you how many of these people had brown stains on the back of their white suits.
Yeah, why wouldn't you choose a brown uniform for these ceremonies?
Oh,
Why would you go with white?
it's a cleansing ritual. So
White
white
is
is like the
holy.
color of cleansing, right?
No, that's
So
what you wear the next day.
you would think
Once
so.
you've been cleansed, not pre-cleanse. Oh, wow.
I mean, you find out who's doing the work and who isn't.
If you
Baker,
just took a
you're
regular,
an imposter. You're pretending.
yeah, if you ate a regular brownie, out. I see no shit stain. Out with you.
Yeah, I was standing
you
out in the
stop
hallway
recording?
waiting on one of the bathrooms to
We did
open
not
up.
stop recording.
Wait, did you stop recording? Because maybe this is going to be a separate episode, you know? You know, like at the end of a movie.
Just shit talk.
Yeah, just shit talk. We're going to do, maybe that should be the
That's-
segment at the end.
Well, this is our reward for people hanging on this long.
Or punishment. Depends on how they feel about this kind of shit.
Here's your bonus.
Oh, and with that, we love you and we'll see you next week.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to That's a Great Point with Alina Doran, Michelle Aalbers, and Lee Smart. To find out more about how we can serve you, check out our links in the show description. Thanks for playing along.